Which means,
Michael, what's happening?
wow, of that trying to torture me with this bag that I cannot get my hand in.
You know what? Your transcription, you type it with one hand while I hold the bag and type it.
Oh, I think I got the one I got you again.
You did. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk. And a raspberry, vibrant raspberry. It's a beautiful, amazing. Trying to figure out how to spell Newswire. It's good. I would say this is like more summer if you care about that kind of stuff. Do you care about that kind of stuff, Bar?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's a good one though. I like
Do you like it better than the other Hydro Boost thingy you got?
it. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I like both of them though. Honestly, it just depends on what you're wearing. Like that color goes with certain things. You can't wear it with everything. If you wear it with a red, it just totally throws it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have that problem?
Yeah, all the time.
figured
I sympathize with you.
I know. Anyway,
Know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
know. You know what I saw today on Facebook that is bothering me a little bit?
What?
So, might help if I have my mic on. So, I'll get it down one day. I
Nah,
saw on
doubt it.
Facebook shut up, that a lot of people are posting the National Sunday, but I looked up my national days and it's not on there. So I'm wondering where is this like coming from?
Yeah. But who
Out of the 7 days, okay, but they did have National Family Day, but that's not National Sunday. So why are all these people posting National Sunday? You know why? Because they're not listening to iNewswire when I go
there
over my
you go.
national
Yeah,
days.
Stephanie didn't declare it that, so it's not. It doesn't.
doesn't
happen.
exist.
Yes, it doesn't happen.
But so on top of the National Family Day, it's also, you ready for this one? National Drink a Beer Day.
Well,
My kind of day.
yes.
I mean,
No, that's about time. Something they had a national day that was worth a blank.
yeah. Because, the National Sunday isn't worth anything.
Well, that goes without
But no,
saying.
really, or the National, Sun, not Sunday. I wonder why people are posting all these photos. Now, I'm on a mission to find out why that is. It's not on national days.
Beats the hell out of me.
It's a freaking outrage. All right, we're going on Facebook. Isn't that odd, though? Mind blown.
The funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday on iNewswire, both on Facebook and the aforementioned YouTube, which we started on, which again, you're missing a lot if you don't tune in to our exclusive YouTube segments where we start the show on that. So y'all are missing a lot, I think, when you do that. I think, like I say, I think those first couple of minutes we do on YouTube.
They're the best.
Yes, they're some of the best ones we do.
Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and hit that like and subscribe button and share it all over your platform so we can get more subscribers.
There you
I
go.
mean, we're already up a ton, but we need, we need all the
Yes,
help
and
we
on
can
that,
get.
and I
We
just
only have
logged.
35.
I just logged into the YouTube deal, so here
look
we
at
go.
You.
We'll say hi, y'all, on the YouTube.
He's
there.
actually, and that's the first time you ever commented on there.
There you go. Well, hey, there's got a first time for
Wow.
everything.
I'm impressed.
Actually, no. Well, I did, but I ran. Which one did I run? I think I ran the Joe Biden and maybe the Trump press conference Saturday, and I think we got some good stuff on there. I was commenting on that, but yeah, we need to run the. See if you like the YouTube deal. I think maybe YouTube is more conductive to what we're doing on this type of stuff than Facebook. Facebook's kind of sporadic, spastic. People just like tune in sometimes just for a few seconds of that, where I think YouTube viewers tune in longer. What do you think?
I think whatever you say is just spot on.
Wow.
It's National Drink Beer Day.
How many have you had already to say something like that?
No. Not yet.
of that. But yeah, something's going on because I never get a compliment like that.
I'm just trying to be nice. I told you before the show, I'm changing my life. It's a new, 2020 has been hard on everybody. It's been kicking my ass for sure for like 3 years. We're gonna start new now. I'm excited.
We'll see. We'll have Dr. Kelly Victory on a little bit later.
You're dooming me
on that. Supervisors, Jeff Hewitt, Jim Desmond and Don Wagner of San Diego and Orange County, respectively, and a lot of our city leaders had a press conference this morning down on the steps of the county building down there in downtown Riverside and said, let's reopen the hell of California, our counties, and let's do it now. And we'll cover that here in a sec. But one thing I wanted to do, and the big thing that broke over, Saturday, Trump named Amy Coney Barrett as the nominated her for the next Supreme Court justice. It looks like it's a pretty much foregone conclusion that the Senate's going to confirm her, so she will be fill the seat of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who recently passed away today. But this broke out a whole bunch of back and forth on the whole deal. And I'm trying to find a photo I had of this whole mess going on that I wanted to show, and maybe I saved it, maybe I didn't. But some of the things that were said...
Were they mean?
Going back and forth, yes. Amy Coney Barrett...
But are you surprised, though? I mean, that's how people are on media platforms.
Amy Coney Barrett is a mother of 7, some of them adopted.
7?
Some of them
good
adopted.
For her.
Yeah, she's a
that.
devout Roman Catholic, family person, yada, yada, yada. Some of the members that she has adopted probably have a darker skin tone than Amy Coney Barrett and came from foreign land or, other lands like Haiti and Africa and
What's
stuff like that. Nothing at all unless... You are part of the racist, white fragility, whole enchilada thing going on. First, the New York Times started bashing Amy Coney Barrett over her being a Catholic and doing this. Then this piece of trash, Abram X. Kendi, which is he's with this crew of this ding-dong, Barbara D'Angelo, and the white fragility, and you're all supposed to hate yourself, and yada, yada, yada. That's going on in our schools in this. This is the other piece of trash that started this. Abram Kendi X. Now, Tim, the Obamacare lawyer, posted, this Abram X. Kendi got $25,000 from a Virginia school for a 45-minute speech telling up how you should hate yourself if you're white, bashing you. 45 minutes and a 15-minute question and answer deal. Anti-capitalist-sponsored Twitter CEO accuses Amy Coney Barrett of colonialism from adopting from Haiti. This is what Abram writes on Twitter. Some white colonizers adopted black children. They civilized these savage children in superior ways of white people while using them as props in their lifelong pictures of denial while cutting the biological parents of these out of the picture of humanity. Your reaction?
I'm not allowed to say half the words I want to while we're live, but why would someone write something so hateful and evil? I mean... She took them from probably, I'm guessing and assuming, so don't quote me on this, but probably a pretty horrible and awful life that they would have had and gave them a much beautiful one. I don't get why someone would go and spread something like that. That's just spreading the hate. Right?
Flip up number 4. Along with this nutcase, Robert D'Angelo and one of them of the How You Should Hate Yourself, have been doing this, and it's been going through school districts and city governments and federal governments. Trump shut the money off of this on the federal government. And if you didn't like Trump for anything else, you should vote for him just for shutting the money off of these nutcase, racist, hateful mongers, and anybody that is spreading this, and I've told you for decades this has been going on, especially in the schools. It started in the schools. Then it started pilfering into the government agencies and stuff. The evil that people are spreading this stuff, those people should be run out of a rail in any government offices, anybody that's been spreading that today. Because this is the amount of hate. We just read the first one on that. The first one, and it gets better. Here's Abram X. I'm challenging the idea that white parents of kids of color are inherently not racist, and their bots completely change what I'm saying. To white parents of kids of color are inherently racist. These alive and fake bots are good at their propaganda. Let's not argue with them.
See, but that's just them trying to keep the racism going. And I hope other people can see through that, because what if someone falls in love with an African American? Why does it freaking matter? I thought we were past that. They're keeping all this other shenanigans, I got myself, going. Like, I thought we were out of the freaking 1600, 1400, what was it?
Yeah, 1641 or whatever project.
I thought we were past that.
No.
But constantly bringing it up in tweets like that is just going to always keep going forever. Like, why does that even need to be said?
And who is keeping it going?
I know, but people need to just keep their damn opinions to themselves, because who is that hurting? No, they need to.
No. We need to expose this.
Or learn how to say it in a proper way, because that...
No.
Yeah, that,
we need to
that could have been written much differently.
We should expose what has, is, and is going on. Because these people firmly believe this. And especially they've been teaching your kids this. Now for decades. They've been slowly rolling it in, but they're getting more emboldened to do it each and every day. Now they think they've got you by the blank, and they think they're going to push their deal on that. Abram X, whether it's this is Barrett or not is not the point. It's a belief that many white people have that if they adopt a child of color, then they can't be racist. Exactly, this guy, and this is what this is the seminars they're holding now, not only in schools, but government agencies.
That breaks my heart.
They're paying these guys $25,000 for an hour's worth to come in and spew this crap.
That's horrible. But why would they want... I don't... I mean, I'm sure there might be people in the world that are like that. But I don't think it would be people who they're putting on blast to behave that way. And then why aren't they focused... If they're so worried about that, why aren't they more focused on the children whose lives are really getting messed up and screwed up and getting sexually assaulted and molested and raped by families that are holding children hostage and not letting them out of their home for 11 years? Why aren't they talking about that? Why are they talking about this crap?
Because they've been doing it for many years, and most people are telling people like myself and others that we were crazy, we didn't know what we were talking about. You are crazy.
Half the time you don't.
And this and that.
But
we were exactly right. We were telling you the truth. It was the ones that are up there at the dais that were lying to you. It was your executive staff members, your school board members, your city council members, your state representatives that were lying to you. Because they've been pushing this for a long time. Your teachers' unions have been funding this and pushing it in the schools. Yes, they have. They're the ones that are paying for a lot of this. So you can shake your head no, but the facts are the facts.
Who, me?
Yes.
I wasn't shaking my head no.
Because...
Stop yelling at me.
Because we were right.
I mean, sometimes.
And we were telling you this. And when they were calling us crazy. Now, you think we're going to get, maybe an apology, or maybe, we really were doing this, or maybe we should be hanging our shame for doing what we've been doing and backing these, like LeBron James.
See, but I think, honestly, sometimes people think that somebody's out to do good when really they're not. So, hopefully now people will start to see that what is really happening.
You could not read.
I'm just saying
what's
that
in white fragility
maybe,
or what they are saying.
Maybe
you cannot interpret it any other way because they've been pulling.
No, because even when I read the
time.
title, I was like, okay, to me that line's already been drawn on the title of the book. Like, I feel like that's already turning racism into more racism, but maybe they thought that it would help in some way. I mean, I don't know. I'm naive, huh? So I can answer that.
Noah Feldman is a professor at Harvard, and he was a clerk when Amy Coney Barrett was a clerk alongside or for the late Judge Anton Scalia, which was a very good friend of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, even though they were opposite side on almost every issue at the Supreme Court. He was on the opposite side too. I think he was clerking for Ruth Bader Ginsburg or one of the other side. But they were at the same time. They grew, they kind of went to that. They were in the same club of that. And Noah Feldman says, I probably disagree with most everything or most of the rulings, even that Amy Coney Barrett's made as an appellate court judge or that, or see the world a lot differently. But she is perfectly qualified and should be nominated for a Supreme Court justice. She's a brilliant mind. He said, I went to ask her questions and stuff when we were clerking and afterwards on stuff. She was so good. This is Michelle Dauber. When I got up, I thought, I hope Noah Feldman's having a terrible day. And when I remember that Noah Feldman's of the world never get what is coming to them, this is going to be named under the Secretary of something by Biden. He has impunity. If you listen to what Feldman says in an interview, he is incredibly naive about how courts work, claiming that they are somehow primarily apart from politics, or he is lying. Since I don't believe he is so naive, you do the math. Noah, sure, she will overturn Roe, and sure, that's terrible, but we won't be having any abortions. Hear me out. What really matters is what's wrong for view of the court and exists in pristine politics free of environment. Good luck, vagina people. Sincerely, Noah. Now, Amy, the only thing they have dug up on Amy Coney Barrett on that is she said Roe versus Wade is probably not going to be overturned.
Who?
Amy Coney Barrett.
Said what?
Said Roe versus Wade is probably never going to be overturned.
What's that? Abortion?
The right to have an abortion in all 50 states.
Why is it called Roe versus
Because
what?
that's the court case from Texas, Roe versus Wade, that kicked off the whole deal.
I thought it was some slang or something.
So they're trying to attack. They were going to try to put the abortion card, but that seems to be off the table. Now they're pushing, Affordable Care Act is going to be taken away. That's what the mantra was of Joe Biden and all that stuff this on Saturday of that going back and forth. Now that they know that they can't stop the Supreme Court's justice and that doesn't look like it's going to happen, now they're going to say, they're going to take away Obamacare. Facts are, less people are covered today than before Affordable Care Act. Facts are, healthcare costs are rising at an exponential rate. Facts are, healthcare will always go down, and if you don't believe it, go to Sweden. Some of you wet dream lefties that said the socialists matter. Sweden is actually went away from socialized medicine, is going back to the free market to deliver better healthcare at less cost. So, again, let's break down the other false narrative. Or I want to put this topic on the table because I did on the Joe Biden thing. Let's get to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, when Willie Brown was probably the most influential, let's say, politician in California in the 80s and 90s. He was Speaker of the Assembly, then got to be mayor of San Francisco, yada, yada, yada. Kamala Harris got out of law school, was a deputy district attorney, wants to run for district attorney or whatever they call it in San Francisco. So, she starts screwing Willie Brown. Because Willie Brown can make that happen.
Kamala did.
Yes.
Okay.
So, then now, when Willie Brown's saying, yeah, we were dating and having an affair and yada yada, she's trying to run from it or trying to diss Willie Brown. So let's put this topic on the table, and this is what I said.
Put it up there.
Kamala Ho, you didn't have enough talent to make it as a district attorney or a politician on your talents and ability, so you had to sleep your way to it. That's the facts. And now you're running for it. You know what, Kamala? I would have respect for you if you'd come up there and say, you know what? I wasn't good enough to do it, so I had to use my center hole to get where I'm at. At least I would have respect for you. Not trying to deny it or run for it or diss Willie Brown, because that's what you did.
Maybe they just generally liked each other. Now she's worried.
That, and I got a London Bridge
I'm
to
just
sell
saying.
you.
Do you really?
Yeah.
How much?
For $1.
No way.
Because that's about as
That's a
believable
deal.
as that story is.
I'm just saying, what if they really did like each other? You don't think that she made it there where okay, I'm going to stop talking.
Stop digging? Yes. You're in the hole. Stop digging.
I am.
It's very clear what went on. And then to deny that or try to diss Willie Brown about happening.
She needs to fess up to it.
Yes.
But, I mean, maybe they really did like each other. I mean, and she got where she went because she was smart, not because of her
No,
middle.
she didn't, because she's a dingbat. Every time she opens her mouth. She's an odious person that flip-flops on every deal, tried to run for president, couldn't even get hardly any support because she's a ding-dong. The only way she could get elected is being in California, where we have a bunch of stupid people that elect dummies.
Wow. I'm a little
And
hurt.
you elect people.
I'm a little hurt.
You elect women who sleep with men to get to where they want.
Maybe. You're getting worked up.
Well, that's what the facts are.
That's what Roy's facts are.
Well, deny
What
that.
if I don't believe it?
Then you don't believe in, like I say, stop digging in the hole, because that's what happened. And if they cared for each other, why is she going around dissing Willie Brown or saying, why is he talking about
Yeah,
it?
see, that's where she needs to fess up.
Of
But I'm just
course.
saying, what if really they liked
Because
each
she
other
knows what
and
she
they wanted
is.
to hook up?
Because she knows what she is.
Not that it's, well, were they married?
No, Willie Brown was married to someone else.
Sorry, I'm reading. Wait, okay.
Willie
So
Brown was
they were married, but not to each other. That was my
Yes.
question.
They never were married. No, she was his girlfriend on the side because she didn't have enough talent to make it in the politics world, and the only way she could get there was to sleep with Willie Brown.
That's wrong. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the comments. I don't know. I'm naive. Why do I always do that? But what if they did like each other?
Then why aren't they still together?
Because he realized he was better than her and he left. And then she was upset and probably cried over a bunch of ice cream.
He used her for what he wanted, and she used him for what she wanted.
But why wouldn't she admit to it? Because it's going to make her look bad or something?
Yeah, because it blows all the paradigms of this. Of, I am woman and I do this and I can succeed on my talents and everything else. Well, then why didn't you?
But she did, didn't she?
Yeah.
She succeeded in other talents.
Of course. So let's not bag, or if that's what the case are and that's what you're supporting when you're supporting Kamala Harris, don't bag on anybody else doing it either.
Yeah.
Then that's the fixed norm you accept. And you accept liars and cheats and people that will do anything, anywhere, at any time to get what they want. And that's what Kamala Harris did. That's why she's where she's at.
I don't know. I want some hard evidence of that.
What harder evidence do you want?
See where I went with that?
Yes. Ask Willie Brown about the harder evidence.
Oh, okay, that's gross. All right, anyways.
So
she needs to admit to it, though. I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, stand
but
up
I'm
and
just
say
saying,
that.
what if it didn't
I didn't have enough talent to do it. That's the only way it could get there, and that's the way it is.
But what if she did have talent and
she does?
She wanted to hook up with him.
Then why is she running from it?
Why, like,
if she's embarrassed or running about it or anything else, that stamps guilty right across your forehead.
Yeah, true. But I mean, they had an affair. I mean, that on its own is a bad thing. But what if? I don't know.
Stop digging.
Okay, I'm shutting up. That slut. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you're on it.
Yep. I got
okay.
it.
No, the next thing that
Mondays.
happened today, we want to cover this. Jeff Hewitt had a press conference at the on the steps of the county building down there on Lemon Street in downtown Riverside. He was joined by his supervisor colleagues Don Wagner from Orange County and Jim Desmond of San Diego County, all supporting reopening up of California. We'll give you a little bit of this. Here's Jeff Hewitt.
The fact that 3 counties here with supervisors can actually get along and agree on things. That in itself is really something. But we will be talking about the subject that is on everybody's mind right now. And that is, when are we going to go ahead and open back up? When are we going to have everyone considered as an essential business and get back to life as we know it? So today, I will start off by saying I have been absolutely flabbergasted by the different metrics that have been come down from Sacramento during the course of this last 7 months. Riverside County has done everything we can to not only account for a surge, but also in high numbers of testing. We even went out, and 2 months ago we came out with an antibody study, which I feel is one of the gold standards in the world, and it's going out for peer review right now and will probably be written up in journals for sure. But it shows us real science and real data. And we've been arguing over what's real science and real data, and I'll tell you what, right now, we've got great numbers. We've come down really well into Riverside County, and last Tuesday, coincidentally, we went from the Tier 4 of the new metrics that the governor's put out to Tier...
There you go. And I mean, we can... COVID-19, like every other virus, and we'll have Kelly Victory on to probably confirm this, but we'll let her answer that, is going to run its course. You've had the same amount of deaths of that, whether masks on, no mask, anything else. And in fact, some of the mask wearers like Peru that had the strictest lockdown have the highest death rates per capita of any others. So that's it. I have said this. The county sheriffs can end this right now. Like I've said, and Sheriff Chad Bianco is down there supporting this, which is fine, but he's not going far enough. He needs to come to the council or the supervisors meeting and saying, I'm deputizing all 2.5 million people of Riverside County. If Gavin Newsom wants to run his goon squads in, he's going to have to come through all of us. He's not arresting nobody. He's not fining nobody. And the supervisors need to say, hey, Gavin, if you think you're going to withhold money, then we're not sending you property tax money. We'll just collect all the sales tax ourselves and hold it here. And any other tax money fines, we're not sending you court fines or anything else. 2 can play this game. You need to start throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs at Gavin Newsom and quit screwing around. Bottom line, again, if we had some sheriffs and all of you Chad supporters, I'm asking you to finally remind him or nicely remind him this is what we want done. We're done screwing around. We're not playing anymore. The real science is out there, as Jeff Hewitt said. There's nothing you're going to do, not do, or anything else on this whole deal. So it doesn't matter. The only thing is now about control of your life. And that's what it's all about. So if you want to continue to let this go, and if Gavin Newsom wants to play, then we will play back. We've got cards to file too. That whole deal that went on with Kevin Jeffries and CEO George Johnson was a travesty that pulled saying, oh, Gavin Newsom could withhold $655 million from the county. Well, big deal. We just won't send him any money. We'll say, you want to send your goon squads in, then we're going to have a little meeting at the county line, and we're going to see who's going to win this battle. That's how you need to stop. Yet this stuff will stop immediately. And I guarantee you, Gavin doesn't have enough guts to do anything because he's a wussy boy.
Lauren writes in, at minimum, no county dollars should be spent enforcing state mandates.
Again, you ain't coming in this county. Highway Patrol, National Guard, anything else. Screw you and your goon squads and regulatory agencies and licensing agencies. You don't need a license to run a nail salon. We'll have our own deal. Screw you. Try and stop it.
Yeah.
Screw the courts and everything else. This is what's happening because you know what? County sheriffs have a lot of authority. They're the chief law enforcement officer of their county. And I'm no lawyer, give legal advice, but look up all the cases that have been in courts that have ruled in the favor of what a county sheriff can and can't do. Don Wagner in Orange County. Jim Desmond in San Diego are standing up. It's time for Don Barnes, the sheriff, which he's been pretty good, and Chad Bianco, which I'm saying they've been pretty good, but they need to step it up to the next level. Chuck Condor from Riverside, Art, I can't remember his name, from Banning, Andrew Kojak from San Jacinto were there. You know what city was conspicuously missing in Riverside County?
Who?
Guess.
Moreno Valley.
Correct.
I got it right.
Yes.
What did I win?
Not one Moreno Valley representative was down there supporting this.
You were there.
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
no,
crap.
I mean our elected representatives.
Well, I mean, you practically are one. Right for mayor.
But they were conspicuously no one from Moreno
Sean.
Valley was there.
Hi, guys. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
And that says volumes.
Don't steal my words.
It's time that we knock this. It's time that we stop playing tiddlywinks with this.
1 minute.
Footing around it, everything else, and let's draw the line in the sand and say let's get it on, one way or the other, because we cannot stand one more second of this crap that's went on in 2020.
Yeah. Not one more damn second.
Tell them.
Totally with you on that one.
Thank you.
And our courts really need to get their together. Big time.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
Riverside County has some of the most corrupt courts in the world.
No, you tell me.
30 seconds.
It is. No.
I was listening.
Voting, everything else. Riverside County and the city of Riverside, and maybe we'll have Jason Hunter, because there's some stuff going down in the city of Riverside here pretty soon.
Dun, dun,
I think
dun.
of that along with this, but no.
Here we go. 10 seconds.
Phone apps. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed.
Here's that funky side guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday on the internet. 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire, and joining us from our crew that watches us on YouTube and Facebook on IE Newswire, starting live at 5, where we covered the immense hypocrisy of those who have been pushing the racist. We are going to expose the real racist. And what is really being, now as we have real evidence of what's going on, and now we can counteract that. No longer are you going to be able to tell a few of us have been telling you for decades, and it's on the record and it's clear. And it's clear the ones that have been supporting this stuff. The absolute hate and vile that goes on in this country, that Kendi X and that Robin DiAngelo or whatever fruitcake that are pushing this racism, and Black Lives Matter and LeBron James and the whole freaking crew. What is it, Crumb, that ambulance chasing attorney that's got this country turned upside down, got people hating each other, the absolute racist stuff they're doing and the stuff they're saying about Amy Coney Barrett is absolutely
Horrible.
disgusting.
I agree.
And anybody that's supporting that, it's going to be on your hands. And I don't know, a lot of you are big believers in this stuff, but I hope there really is a judgment day, and I really want to be there standing watching when you have to answer the questions.
Dun, dun, dun.
Think about it. We had Jeff Hewitt. He had a press conference today with 3 of his colleagues in Orange County, Don Wagner and Jim Desmond of San Diego, Don Wagner of Orange County. They said, open this county, open it up now. The county sheriff's got to get get down there. Chuck Condor, Riverside City Council, was down there. A couple of the mayor and Art Welch of Banning, one representative from Menifee, Andrew Kotyuk of San Jacinto, and a few others were that. Conspicuously, the representatives from Moreno Valley, California, the second largest city in Riverside County, were absent. Why? On that, I think you want, those of you in Moreno Valley might want to just drop a dime on your council members and ask them why. I would be curious to see what their response, or probably non-response, is. Mayor too. On top of that, he wasn't there. We're gonna have our very special guest. We've had her on ever since this whole COVID, and I don't even want to say the word I'm thinking, thing started in this, because I'd probably get thrown off the air. But this is the one person we've had, and she's been spot on 100% on the whole COVID crisis going on. And I don't know if she's caught the press conference, the aforementioned press conference that Jeff Hewitt had with his colleagues, Don Wagner from Orange County and Jim Desmond of San Diego. But they said, stop the COVID madness, Gavin Newsom. We want to open up. I have a few opinions on that, but I want to hear what Dr. Kelly Victory has to say on this. So welcome to IE Newswire Daily with Stephanie and Roy, Dr. Kelly Victory.
Hey, Stephanie and Roy. Thanks for having me back. I unfortunately did not hear that press conference. I was doing other media, but I really am interested in what Jim Desmond had to say. I think very highly of him and have spoken with him in the past. So I agree fundamentally if you're telling me that what they said was open the heck back up, because it is high time to do that.
Yes, it was Jeff Hewitt. It was on the steps of the county building at Riverside County. Supervisor Jeff Hewitt from Riverside, Orange County Supervisor Don Wagner, and San Diego Supervisor Jim Desmond were all there to speak, along with many city council members from Riverside County, of that, Chuck Condor from Riverside. As I mentioned, conspicuously, the second biggest city in Riverside County, Moreno Valley, did not have a representative there, which was very telling to me since that's where we're broadcasting from. But yes, they were there with many of their colleagues saying, the evidence is in. The evidence that Dr. Kelly Victory and others have been bringing out, we now don't have to guess. We don't have to guess or speculate or do models. The real world evidence is out there. In my opinion, COVID-19 was going to do what it's going to do. I think that is, no matter what you did, pretty much one way or the other, there's no reason at this point to be having shelters in place or lockdowns or mandates or businesses closed or theme parks not operating or restaurants half open or anything else, Dr. Kelly.
No, I agree wholeheartedly, and that evidence, frankly, Roy, has been in for quite a while now. We have seen from not only in this country, but around the globe, that without lockdowns, without social distancing, without mask wearing, places seem to do just fine. In fact, on par, they fare just as well as we have here in the United States without leaving just pure, unadulterated economic and psychological devastation in its wake. And you could look at any number of countries, including places like Norway and Sweden and Japan, for that. But now, even if you don't want to look across the pond or to other countries and look just in the United States, across the country, regardless of any panic porn that you may read about an increase in cases, the numbers that are important, meaning numbers of hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and deaths, have continued to fall week over week, and they have for some time. So it is time to open back up. We are running headlong into influenza season, so you can already anticipate that we're going to see some spike in flu-like cases because it's the flu. And so it's time to get back to business as we've always known it. Otherwise, this is going to go on in perpetuity, and it's high time that our leaders start to speak up and push back on the rest of the politicians and government officials and say, no, we can't tolerate this any longer. It's not simply that people are frustrated and upset. It's that we are doing far, far, far more damage by the response response to this pandemic, the COVID lateral damage that I talk about all the time, than was ever going to have happened by virtue of the virus itself.
I'm going to go back, and these are kind of round numbers as I remember them. When the first projections, just so we'll deal with Riverside County, since that's where a lot of our listeners are, and they're listening to us on the Mighty Met 1490 AM KMET. The projections were, the first models were in the 1,000 range, or might be 1,500 deaths if we did nothing, yada, yada, yada. And then they had all these, well, if we wore masks and we locked down, it'd be down to 200 of that. Well, so they did the lockdowns, and it still did, and then we opened up, and then we closed again, and da-da-da-da. But, I mean, the death rate, I think, is over 1,000 on that, da-da-da. So, I mean, just in Riverside County, I think it proves the point. It really didn't matter what you did. COVID-19 was going to do its thing, like every other virus does, and yeah, some people are going to die of it. We pretty much knew that. In most cases, our public officials blew where they should have been concentrating on, and they probably could have prevented a lot of deaths if they'd had the right policies, which we discussed a lot ad nauseum there, and we really don't have to go over much anymore. But I think the real world evidence is producing. What we see is what Dr. Kelly Victory and what we brought out on the show is exactly what's happened. And I don't know at what point everyone faces reality.
Well, it's a good time to review, Roy, that what happened, the lack of impact of wearing masks, the lack of an impact of social distancing or shutdowns or lockdowns and all of these draconian measures is precisely what we would have expected, because those things have never been proven to be effective. It's one thing if you wanted to say, hey, we're going to do a little study here, guys. We have this new pandemic. Let's see what happens if we, in some communities, close bars and restaurants or keep kids out of school, whatever else. But to act as if what they did, which is, this is what we need to do, as if it was based on some kind of science or precedent, when in fact it's quite the opposite. As I keep reminding people, all you have to do is go to the CDC's own website to read the meta-analysis of 10 different studies on the effectiveness of masks, for example, in stemming the spread of respiratory viruses. And the answer is they don't. We've known that for years. That's why we've never done it in the past, every influenza season or any other previous, pandemic season, H1N1, SARS, MERS, whatever you want, any one. So we have implemented as a country and around the globe these different mitigation schemes as if, and been led to believe, as if they are tried and true and absolutely, this is what we need to do. And I've been saying from the beginning, on the basis of what do we need to do that? This doesn't work. And I've said before, and I will say again, social distancing, and I put that in air quotes every time I say it, is not even a concept of public health. And when people say, well, what do you mean? Because the media and politicians have been so good at saying it as if this is a tried and true. Well, everybody knows what social distancing is for a pandemic. And I'm saying, no, do tell. Or let me invite you into my library, which is replete with books on virology, epidemiology, public health, including from some pretty storied places. I did my postgraduate work in public health at the Harvard School of Public Health. My library is full of books from that institution. And I defy you to pull any book of public health, virology, epidemiology off my shelf and show me where the term social distancing appears in the table of contents or the index. It's a made-up concept that somebody has said, well, it could work. The idea of 6 feet, that got pulled out of, to be kind, out of the midair. We'll say. It didn't get pulled out of any scientific study. And so this is where I have found huge issue with our response, because Americans as a people are remarkably kind, giving, sacrificing people who are willing to suffer and do whatever they need to do to help their fellow man if, in fact, they believe it is effective. But once people start putting two and two together and realizing, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And how come Sweden managed to do what they did without leaving a gaping crater called the economy? They managed to do it and have the same number of deaths per 100,000, for example, as we have here in the United States. And that's where I think people have a right to be angry, a right to expect some sort of recourse from their elected politicians or from the people who are in control of setting these policy issues, because they were wrong. They were wrong from the beginning. They refused to listen to alternative voices from practicing physicians like myself and others, and from people who have deep experience in looking at pandemics. And I think that that's a tragedy, which is, again, not to say that the virus is a hoax or that some people haven't become very ill and have, people clearly have died from it. But our response was so out of proportion to the actual risk as to be truly the very definition of a tragedy.
Stephanie.
I agree with everything she said. Honestly, Kelly, you are a brilliant, amazing woman, and I love having you on the show. But I feel like we've been talking about this.
I can't hear you, Stephanie.
Turn on your mic. Yes. Try your turning on your mic there.
I got it.
There we go.
We have been talking about this forever. It's like Groundhog Day.
It is. I remember when they first landed here in March, and you started talking about it, Roy, about the COVID going on, and I came in with my toilet paper and my plastic bag, kind of not making fun of it, but trying to be lighthearted about it, not thinking it was going to be this big of a deal. And then here we are, how many months later, still discussing the same thing. If you had told me, yeah, I hear you, Stephanie. If you had told me back, I remember when before Easter, I thought certainly they're going to lift all of this crazy ban before whatever that was, April 12th or something, whatever Easter was this year. If you had told me back then that we would have done this through Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and moving right on through wiping out, Halloween, so that we can get into the winter holidays, I would have said absolutely no way. It's preposterous. Americans would never put up with it. And because it defies science, surely more logical, reasonable, measured voices of science will prevail. Lo and behold, no. And in fact, so many of the social media sites, whether it's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, have gone on an all-out censorship campaign to silence the voices of many of us. I just today posted for the umpteenth time that meta-analysis from the CDC's own website, and the tweet where I post the link to the CDC website with that meta-analysis, that tweet was flagged as, quote, sensitive. I posted something I'm saying, what is sensitive about posting a scientific study from the premier infectious disease authority in the United States? It's sensitive because it does not adhere to the current narrative they would like Americans to believe.
100%. And I want to, because Roy just gets out on that limb and, isn't afraid to get it sawed off sometimes. Yeah. But Sheriff Chad Bianco of Riverside County was down there, and I know Don Barnes of Orange County has been pretty strong on that. But I've said, county sheriffs have a lot of authority. The chief law enforcement officer in their county, and you go look up the Supreme Court and court rulings on that. They have a lot of authority to in each to do a lot of things. And I've said, I've called on Sheriff Chad Bianco of Riverside County to deputize all 2.5 million Riverside County residents, and I will be the first one standing on the county line. And we are going to tell, and I hope he will, and I hope the supervisors will back it up, Gavin Newsom, you ain't coming in this county. If you want to send your goon squads in to enforce licenses and stuff, you're going to have to come through us. This is about how far I think this thing has gone, and I think probably the only way. And if you want to threaten, like the odious Supervisor Kevin Jeffries and George Johnson did pull these scare tactics, that Gavin Newsom's going to hold $600 million fine and dandy. We just won't send you any property tax money. We won't send you court fine money. We'll just even collect the sales tax and keep it right here in Riverside County. Now, let's get it on. What do you think, Kelly?
Well, I think that people do have to start pushing back one way or another, Roy. I've said for some months now, whether it's by class action lawsuits, many of which have been brought in the state of California. There are several that have been brought by small business owners who have banded together and said to Governor Newsom, what you've done is unlawful and you have exacted, really untenable financial hardship on us. There have been lawsuits brought by pastors of large churches that have feel that they have been unfairly discriminated against, and I agree with them. I've served as an expert witness in a number of these cases, and there have been cases with regard to the closure of schools. Because that is, again, a preposterous and unfounded, unscientifically founded idea, children being at essentially zero risk of significant illness if they contracted at all from COVID-19. So I think whether you do it the way you're talking about and actually, take sort of what I call take it into your own hands, whether you file lawsuits, one way or another, something's got to happen. I saw a horrific piece of video footage a few days ago from my home state of Ohio, where a woman was sitting in a set of bleachers far away from sitting with a couple of her kids or a friend at her son's middle school football game. And a police officer walked up, told her to put a mask on. She was sitting in the middle of nowhere on a bleacher outside. She refused, and he tased her and handcuffed her and arrested her. I've never seen, when you watch the piece of video footage, and you should look it up because it's gone viral, it is as if you are living in a total totalitarian, dictatorial regime. You can't believe that was Ohio in the United States. When you see this, that we are arresting people, tasing them, handcuffing women in front of their children because they don't wear a mask at a middle school football game.
That is outside, too.
Yes. And sitting far further than 6 feet from other people. So it has become truly stuff that you would see in some B-rate film, about a dystopian society. I can't believe we are living this, and something has got to change. It is time for people to stand up and say no. And frankly, I think it's time, honestly, for President Trump to be more vocal about this. I have to assume he's not quite aware of everything that's going on, because this is absolutely gone. I've seen people being arrested. There was video of people being arrested singing church hymns outside in the parking lot. We know that months ago people were arrested at the beach in Southern California, people going, surfing and paddleboarding. I mean, the idea that those people are putting themselves or others at risk is absolutely absurd. This is about control and nothing more.
I couldn't agree more, Dr. Kelly Victory. Time flies when you're having fun on that, but I really appreciate your insights in that. Like I say, I haven't heard one thing that I've disagreed with you yet.
How could you disagree with Dr. Kelly?
Yeah, and I mean...
I disagree with you all the time.
Well, I know that. That goes without saying.
I'd love to talk to come back and talk about a couple of issues that people ask me about frequently that we haven't gotten to. Things about the vaccine and what I think is going on there, and then about this concern that having had a flu shot increases your risk of getting COVID-19. I've had a lot of inquiries about that, and people who are concerned about what they call long haulers. Are there any long-term effects from COVID-19, whether it's to the heart muscle or brain or other issues? So there are some things that have come up frequently over these weeks and months about COVID-19, but no matter what we talk about there, I can say with certainty it is time to get back to business. It's time to open our schools fully. No masks, no social distancing, quote unquote, no plexiglass shields. Just get kids back to school, because the effects are devastating and they are really suffering for not being there in person.
You got it. Thanks a lot for being on, Dr. Kelly Victory. We'll do it again real soon.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Bye, Dr. Kelly. Thank you.
Bye.
One day I'll remember to turn on my mic. Sorry, Sean. He keeps yelling at me.
Good thing it is Sean, because if I did it...
Oh, yeah. You're too close. At least Sean I can't get to.
Yes.
No, but I love having her on. And how she brings up about that woman that got arrested in the football watching her kid play the game.
That wasn't that disgusting.
Outside. And then, like she said, in front of your kids the other day, we're in the car. And my kids were like, Mom, why do we have to wear a mask? I don't know. Because they say we do. Well, what does it help? I don't know. Nothing. Well, then why are we doing it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have answers for it anymore. And I'm like, my brain, I don't know why, but it just shuts off when I hear COVID. Like, I can't even think. That's what they wanted, though, huh?
Yeah. Well, hey,
Damn
ding,
it.
ding, ding, ding.
See, Sean, that's why I keep forgetting my mic. It's this COVID stuff. He'll never know I'm lying. Anyways.
I think he did, because you just admitted it. But no,
You didn't hear
you're
me.
right. That's what they want. That's like all that. That's why they're spreading this hate.
Kevin writes in, so what about this new so-called outbreak coming up?
Actually,
There's going to be like 28 more.
No, actually, the witch, Farrar, down there in L.A. County, the doctor, actually, because they were trying to run because of Labor Day cases are going to spike, yada. I heard her today a little bit. Well, maybe we're not going to get the spike on Labor Day, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, because COVID, as they said, like every other virus, it's running its course. And it's pretty much over its course everywhere it's going to be. And it may mutate into something else, and we'll have to deal with it again. And hopefully we'll have some people in our public offices that will have a little more sense than what we had this time on that. But again, that's why I pointed to the stats out. Go back and look at them. The projections are about the amount of people died, whether we locked down, didn't lock down, or that. The original projections are coming about the same. So mask, no mask, in between, didn't make a tinker's darn bit of difference of the whole thing, just as some of us said. I want all of you, now that we have the real world evidence, all of you mask wearing, Gavin Newsom, oh, isn't he so
Stop
cute?
with that damn voice.
See, I got my trump card to get back at you with.
Yeah.
For all the abuse you give me.
What abuse?
Of that. No, we got to get to the point, and I say, nothing's changing, so, I mean,
Yeah.
what do we got to, the most
Except for our sanity.
the most dangerous living thing is somebody who has nothing to lose, and they're getting us to the point where we have nothing to lose. I mean, what do we have to lose to be standing up to this stuff? Because they're just going to keep, if we let them, they're going to keep digging, they're going to keep us digging deeper in the hole till the walls of the hole collapse in on us. And that's what they're
I
planning.
don't want to do that.
Well,
My walls are already collapsing in. They collapsed in a while ago. Whoops. Wrong one. I knew that. Testing me off. It's Monday.
Pretty well to smooth out by the week. Got 4 more days to go.
So you know my earpiece isn't
Yeah,
working right.
the audio's been kind of funky.
It has been.
Yeah, I don't
See,
know
it's
what-
not just, is it me or is it not me? I don't know.
It's something.
It's Sean. Get it
Blame it
together.
on Sean.
Get it together, Sean.
Till tomorrow, we're gone.
We're gone.